When I think about Texas, I think about cowboys and cowboy boots. I think about longhorn bulls and rodeo. I think about Willie Nelson, my favorite George Strait songs. I think about Red Dirt and the Alamo. I don't think about mountains. And the second I laid eyes on the Chinattis, I thought, wow, this is truly God's country. This is Texas. We're here in the Chinatti Mountains. I phoned my good friend Greg Brownlee and said, hey Greg, we want to go on a sheep hunt. We want to do it in Texas. I've heard there's sheep down there. And he said, man, you got to go hunt Aoudad with Logan Lewis.
People are always surprised. They always say, I can't believe we're in Texas. And I say, this is my Texas. Welcome to West Texas. I'm Logan Lewis. I'm 28 years old. I'm from far West Texas, and I'm a sheep guide.
This particular hunt is an incredible experience because I've got family. My dad grew up in the panhandle of Texas, and so my brother and I have spent a good amount of time growing up hunting pheasants in the panhandle of Texas, but I never imagined that I'd come back and hunt sheep. And we're sitting here on the border of Mexico. We're looking into Mexico, and we're hunting in Texas.
When you ask anybody out here about the Aoudad and where they came from, you're going to get a different answer just about every time. A story that I know is that they were brought in by cattlemen back in the 40s and released into the mountains, and they just took off like they were made for this country. The Aoudad are perfectly adapted to this environment. When you start climbing around out here and observing these animals, you spend your time just watching them exist, and when you travel through this country, you gain such a respect for these sheep, knowing how tough it is out here, and I mean, how can you not admire an animal that can make it in this country?
When people ask you, what do you love about sheep hunting? It's the physicality, it's the steeps. I mean, sheep hunting, you always learn something about yourself. You've got to be not only physically tough, but you've got to be mentally tough. Sometimes the last place that you want to be is exactly where you're at, but you've got to push through it, and you got to focus on the task, and you got to keep moving uphill, or you got to keep moving downhill.
When you go up on a mountain after sheep, you can't be thinking about anything else, and I think that's my favorite part. If you think about anything else, you're going to mess up.
So on this hunt, Logan had spotted a couple old rams that he knew were old because they were loners, and they were in an area where there wasn't a whole lot of other sheep around. They basically had gotten away from the ewes to go be off on their own. Logan had put the sheep to bed a couple nights before we got into camp.
Yeah, we can get over here faster.
The rams had moved over to the backside of the mountain from where he originally saw them, and so we were several miles away, glassing them across the valley.
This mace out here where that shadow leads down in the bag.
Pulls off over there. They're in that brush there.
We've got two rams down here in the valley that Logan spotted, and he thinks he's seen these rams. He put them to bed 2 days ago, and they both look from here. We like what we see. So we can take the road back down and get significantly closer before we make the trek to get in and have another look. So we think they'll be in the same spot, and they're kind of easing this way a little bit now. So we'll get down there and take a look.
I think the sheep are just over the top of this, from what we could see from that other side.
Okay. rams right there. So, but we know there's 2 rams in here. So this guy's definitely a shooter here. But we know that other ram's in here, so we want to get a look. So now it's going to be a bit of a waiting game, cat and mouse. We knew there was 2, so we wanted to get a look at the other one. He came back across, and that's when we decided, and we got to look at him and said, hey, this ram that's bedded here in front of us, that he had no idea that we were above him, is actually the ram that we want to take. So we got set up, we had plenty of time. The ram finally stood up about 2 hours later. Got this ram down there, he's definitely the ram we want to shoot. Big old ram, heavy bases. We got to look at the other one, he's not near as big, so we're going to send one down there at this guy. He's turned, hold on. I think he's done. We got a nice ram down. Woo-wee. Heck yeah, buddy. Thank you. How cool was that? What a warrior. Wow. Holy cow. Wonderful ending to the day. Great, old, mature Aoudad ram here. 12 and a half year old male. Great sheep to take out here in West Texas. Been an incredible hunt. Thanks to Logan Lewis at Cliff and Cactus Outfitters. It's been an incredible hunt. Beautiful mountains. Definitely be coming back out here to chase these guys. You know, Logan does an incredible job down here of shooting old rams. We wanted a big old warrior. The sheep, he's way past his prime. These sheep in this range are going to live between 12 and 13 years old, and they're going to die of old age or from a predator because they can't continue to get around. And so our ram, we estimated him at about 12 and a half years old. So perfect sheep to take out. You know, hunter's dollars came in. We were able to take an old warrior that's past his prime. It was a successful hunt. Couldn't be happier.
If you're not from here, you look around and think, how could anything survive out here? But if you look a little bit closer, you'd learn that this part of Texas has the largest biodiversity of anywhere in the U.S. More bird species, plant life. We've got black bear, mountain lions, bobcats, elk, mule deer, bighorn sheep, ringtails, and of course we got Aoudad.
Growing up as a kid, I read magazines all the time about different types of hunting, whether it be whitetail, elk hunting, mule deer hunting, sheep hunting, and there was one that always stood out to me, which was a sheep hunt.
My favorite part about going after these sheep is that it's going to be different every time.
What started out as us just glassing some beautiful sheep, and Logan seemed very, very excited about one ram in particular. Turned into a good stock. This terrain out here is just very unforgiving and just very treacherous, and it's just something that I've never experienced, being a traditional whitetail hunter.
Yeah, I think we're gonna come in from above them. I'm just making sure that they hadn't whipped around and come up this next hill. We need to approach with caution here.
When I'm hunting, I feel like I'm living it, I'm not watching it.
So starting out, watching Ryan and Logan out on this huge ledge and bluff, glassing these sheep, I would have never thought that shortly thereafter I was going to be holding the rifle on that very point.
Great shot. Hey, his horn sitting there looks huge. It's a good sheep. Take that maybe all the way back to Arkansas.
Yeah. Punched him.
Oh, man. Good.
First sheep hunt.
First sheep.
First successful sheep hunt. All the above. Out here again today, going to check out Macho Peak, and Logan spotted a group of 4 or 5 great rams. Went ahead and slipped the pack on, hiked on in, came up over the top, and started glassing. They worked their way into about 100 yards, and Ryan handed me the rifle and was able to make a good, clean, solid shot. Surprise of a lifetime, and a moment I'll never forget. It's just one of those trips that you dream about. I was blessed enough to get to go not only with my brother, to get to experience that with him.
Yeah, just take your time.
Find the truck. Being out here in West Texas has just provided another unique experience. To get to meet another great group of guys, from riding around in the trucks through the mountains, to just sitting around the campfire and sharing stories of old hunting trips. This is what hunting is all about.